This is a nose. And these are a whole bunch of noses. And this is my nose. Hi, I'm Inga Larson, and I'm here to ask you a question. What do noses have to do with stress? We all know that stress is a problem. And one way in which trauma can be defined is stress that leads to overwhelm on a pretty regular basis. And you probably are well acquainted with that. One of the ways that I find is really helpful for many of my clients is finding a fragrance. I use essential oils, but you can use really anything. Flowers from your backyard, trees from your walk, something that smells good to you. And find something that actually lowers your pulse, because lowered pulse and reduced stress kind of go together. So the trick is finding the right fragrance for you. And I'll show you how to do that in just a few moments. But first, a little bit of a science lesson. Here's your olfactory bulb. It's right here in your nose. It's wired to your temporal lobe. Now, your temporal lobe belongs to your neocortex, the higher thinking center, the processing center. That's where we solve our problems. We figure things out. And when we're stressed, obviously, the neocortex, the higher thinking center, really isn't going to work very well. So we want to find something that's going to soothe the temporal lobes, which in turn soothe the other lobes, and get us to a place where we can actually think clearly. All right? All right, let's have some fun now. Moving on. We're going to need a few things. I have this thing called a blood pulse oximeter. It's actually pretty inexpensive. If you want to get together with a friend or make it a family expenditure, it's maybe about $25. The second thing you want is a fragrance. I use essential oils. The third thing you want is this, your right index finger. What we want is we want to find a fragrance that's going to drop your pulse per minute about 5 points, at least. If it drops it even more, great, you found it. And then, if it keeps it there even after you stop smelling it, then we know we've got a really good fragrance for you. The one thing we want to avoid is this, because then we're testing our breathing technique, and we know that deep breaths also reduce stress. We want to make sure that this is specific to the oil. Okay, let's go. So again, here's the pulse oximeter. Here's the right index finger. Here's the button to turn it on. And you get to see what's happening here. So I'm 90. And generally speaking, my clients run anywhere between 70 and 95, 100. So I'm kind of right in there, maybe even a little high. So the first one I'm going to try is a lavender. See, just a simple lavender. And again, no deep breathing. Just letting the nose do its work. And it drops me down to 78. And I always like to start with the lavender because most people have an impression that lavender is good for everyone. So it may work for you, but I find that a lot of people don't actually respond to lavender all that well. This is where it gets really interesting. I've got a mint here that is called Breathe, and it's for respiration. And you would think that it'd be pretty stimulating because it's minty, but let's just see how it does.
One of the things that I would love for you to take away from this is that don't assume that the same oil works the same way with everyone's olfactory bulbs. Some supposedly soothing fragrances don't work well. Some supposedly stimulating fragrances actually soothe.
So I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any feedback or if you have any further questions for me, feel free to reach me at the associated address, ingalarson.com, lifecrafting, and I hope that this helps you to craft your life just a little bit better. Take care.